the product development team at FOX took a comprehensive look at the bait delivery device market and believed there was still room for considerable improvement on what was currently out there. So following an extensive 2-year research and development programme, the Impact Spod was born. Available in 2 sizes, the large and the slightly smaller medium, the Impact benefits from a number of unique features with the main emphasis on making baiting easier than ever before. So let's take a look at those features in a little more detail. This is the large Impact Spod. It's exactly the same number of features as the smaller version, the medium, other than the fact that it takes more bait. So if you want to put more bait out at a shorter range, this baby's the one. If you want to go longer range, less bait or create less disturbance, the medium's probably better for you. First feature is the unique shape. You can see here, if I just press the button at the front, the lid opens. You've got this body which is designed to act like a scoop. Now this enables you to hold the impact and scoop your bait, and you can shut the lid easy. You can either close it with the one hand that you've used to load it, like so, or with the other hand. Really simple. Now the benefit of this scoop shape is that when the impact hits the surface and opens and the bait starts to eject, as you retrieve it and you give it a few jerks to the rod tip, you can actually spread the bait over a wider area than other bait delivery devices currently on the market. Now what this enables you to do is, if you're fishing with more than one rod on a baited area, it enables you to make sure you've got the free bait on a nice wide area, so when you fish your free hook baits over the top, you know you've got free offerings all the way around all 3 rods. This is a really handy feature if you're using a boilie only approach. A lot of my own personal fishing is the boilie only approach, and I like to fish with the boilies on a nice wide spread so the carp are moving between each mouthful, makes them easier to hook, and this is really good for that. In this size of impact, which is the large one as I said, you can hold approximately 60 15mm boilies, whilst in the smaller version you can hold approximately 35 15mm boilies. So you don't need many casts to create a really nice spread of boilies in the area. So I'm just going to talk a little bit more about the impact when they're filled with bait. As I mentioned, the scoop design enables you to easily scoop in your bait, your free offerings. Now the beauty of the scoop shape and the fact that this is a body combined with a lid is that when it's got the bait in it, you really do utilise the full capacity of the Impact Spod. Now this means that you've got much better, much more even weight distribution, which not only enables you to cast further, but also straighter. So I'll just shut that lid and I'll talk to you a bit about the mechanism at the front that gives this its name. It's called the Impact Spod because upon impact with the water, this button at the front opens the lid. This allows all the bait to eject. It works via a spring that is under the nose. Now this spring is made from stainless steel, and it's also totally encapsulated in its own little compartment under the nose. This means that when you're using particles or bit baits, that there's no danger of the bait getting trapped into the spring and preventing this mechanism from working as it should do. Now if you do get bait trapped in a spring on bait delivery devices, it can mean that they might not open when they hit the surface, or even worse, they might open mid-air and chuck bait all over the swim in the area you don't want it. So by having that spring totally encapsulated, it just means that when you load your bait, there's no danger of any bits getting trapped in there, so it works perfectly. We'll just take a look at the other end of the lid. You'll see here we've got a hinge. Now this hinge is protected inside the lid, and there's very small amount of the hinge actually on display. This helps to make it much more robust, and like the spring on the nose, it's once again stainless steel, so there's no danger of rust. It's got good longevity. The way this hinge sits, again, it means that you can get your bait all the way to the back of the spod, and every bit of available space is used when loading. Just shut the lid, we'll take a look at the flight. At the top of the flight, you'll notice that there's a size 7 heavy duty swivel, and that's been injection moulded into the flight to ensure that it can't come out and will take the toughest of casts. By having it into the top of the flight, it again aids stability and ensures that you're going to cast the maximum distance you can possibly achieve. And whilst talking about casting distance, let's have a look at the aerodynamics of the Impact Spod that help it fly so far and so true in the air. It's very streamlined, features a weight forward design that's been designed by the team at FOX, the physics geeks as you like, to be the optimum shape and size for flying true through the air. A further benefit of the Impact Spod is it's actually buoyant. Therefore, if you crack it off, it will drift in on the wind and you'll be able to get it again rather than losing it to the bottom of a lake bed. This buoyancy comes about because of the inherent buoyancy that's in the plastic and also air cavity that's trapped in the flight. So in the event of a crack off, like I say, you're not going to lose the impact spod, it's going to just drift in, you'll be able to go and retrieve it, which is a really good bit of news. Let's talk a little bit about the baits that you can use with the impact spods. Now really the only limit is your imagination. The guys have designed this product to work with all manner of baits that you can get from the tackle shop or the supermarket, be it sweet corn, particles, boilies, pellets, maggots, a sloppy spod mix if you're going over the top of zig rigs. It really can work for all of them. Like I say, my own personal fishing is a lot of boilie fishing, and I've been using this now for over a year and it's really benefited my boilie fishing. But if you're into your particle fishing, like I say, it's equally as good at creating a really nice spread and getting the fish grubbing around in your swim. So that's the overview of the new FOX Impact Spod. It's a product that everybody at Fox is really excited about, and we really hope that you will share this excitement. It'll be available in shops later this spring.